Yes, Karika.
Lovely. Just write in comment box if you all can hear us. I will mute if you can mute your mic, that would be great, so that there is no background noises. And if you can write in the comment box, that would be great. Lovely. It would be good if you, I understand more. I mean, it would be good to have a face to the name. So it would be good if you guys, I mean, whosoever can, if you can turn on your cameras. It would be good interactive sessions as your OSCEs. It would be a bit of OSCE practice as well. Anyways, um, I'm Kanika. A lot of you already know me, and can you see me? All right, lovely. Thanks for coming in. I hope we all can hear us. Okay, beautiful. Just a moment. I can try to mute the notifications. Yeah, that's a good idea. How can I will just try to do that too. Okay, I can turn down. Just a moment. I will try to mute the notification. All right, just trying to work that out. All right. It might be a bit tricky. I think I might not be able to, but I think we are all good to go. I think probably if I can mute you all, then might be easier. All right. Thank you everyone for coming in. It is good to have this kind of a platform. I was talking to a lot of candidates. As you know, we are trying to develop a lot of resources and working at the back end to just to for the candidates, and what is the best we can do at this stage, which can be helpful for everyone. I was talking to a lot of candidates, have been talking to them, and the most important thing that I came across was that a lot of people are, really struggling in these times of uncertainty. As I think some of you did watch our, discussion and interview with neuropsychologist Mrs. Ghazal Buller this afternoon, and you've seen, a lot of people are really struggling to in these times of uncertainty, and especially students when they don't have any exam dates, they don't know what to do, how to prepare, how to strategize. I was seeing a lot of people are very demotivated, feeling low, just thinking they have no clarity. So that's why we thought this is a very good platform, and also we got few requests from other people as well. So we thought this is a very good platform where we can have everyone together, and Dr. Griva can be there and share her motivation um, as well. So we are here. I'm just so we've got quite a few people in there. We are here to share, and Dr. Griva is here as well to share her experience, her journey of ADC. We'll be covering quite a few questions, especially the questions that we thought are really important. But if just in case you have more questions, because we can't see most of you, please feel free to write your questions in the comment box, and we will try to cover them all. That's all from my side. For any doubts, any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment box. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Sneha. I can see Dr. Michelle here. Dr. Summer is here. So, sorry, Dr. Summer, I really don't know how to mute the notifications because if I mute my mic, probably maybe in a while, hopefully you won't be listening to those notification sounds, as I'll be muting my mic for a while as well while Dr. Griva talks. And we'll just let us know if any point in time you're not able to hear us, or there is any technical issues. Please let us know. We'll try to work it out. Everything is online. That's the best we can do. We can, take this opportunity to just do whatever best we can. Hopefully, this will be really, really motivating and really good session for you all. So over to Dr. Griva.
Thank you so much, Kanika. A good day to one and all. Do you all hear me? Kanika, am I audible? If you can say yes. All right. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
yes, Dr.
everyone.
Griva, we can hear you.
Perfect. So, before I begin the presentation for the day, let me first thank Dental 101, especially Kanika and Dr. Dipesh, for providing such a fantastic platform where we all can be connected, though we are sitting in different corners of the earth, in different time zones, that we can share. And maybe this little presentation, in my opinion, should be helpful to each and every one of you all. We have thought about it quite a couple of times, and so maybe this is beginning. There is lots more to it. If I can have opportunity, can I just address you all with name rather than just repeatedly saying doctor? Is that okay? And I apologize if anything is wrong, not clear. You all can just interrupt in between. So moving ahead. So as I mentioned, the first slide clearly mentions ADC as a journey, and the only thing that can make us successful is a decision, an honest decision that we can make with ourselves, that I can and I will. Once we have decided on these 2 points, I feel yes, quite a part of journey is conquered. Now, because this is a journey, it's very important that we make our choices quite intelligently, because it's time bound, resources are bound, and so it has to be used very intelligently. So, moving ahead, uh, let me just take you all through this. So, Kanika, let's go to the second slide. So, wherever we are, whether we are beginners or we are experienced, for many of us, for few of us, for few of us, it can be a beginning of journey, or for few of us, we can be somewhere in between. But the most important aspect I feel is to start. We have to start, right? So when we think about starting, obviously there would be lots many questions that we would be having. The couple of questions that I had are as follows. Maybe move on, Kanika. Because ADC is nothing but a puzzle, and it is that why only couple of people succeed, why couple of them don't, why some of them take lots of time, why some people do not ever complete the journey. So if I have to be successful, the questions that would strike me are that how much time ideally it takes to prepare for this exams, how to prepare for this exam. Is self preparation enough, or do we need some kind of coaching or mentoring? Do we need to be excellent or artistic to succeed? What's the recipe that all of us are looking out for in order to succeed? What are the common obstacles that one can face in this journey and how to deal with them? In my opinion, if we can conquer this couple of questions, this journey would be easy, the time taken could be less. So, me, along with the team of Dental 101, has sculpted to focus and deal with each of these questions. So, let's begin with the first question, that how much time ideally does it take to prepare for this exam? So, is this that every one of us face this question? If yes, then just put a thumbs up on the comment box. All right, when I say that how much time does it take to prepare for these exams, it begins from point moment zero, where we have to begin with something called as self-evaluation. Self-evaluation means that you decide on three basic points. First, that how much time I can dedicate to this process, what are my weaknesses and what are my strengths. Coming to the first question, the time one can dedicate, by that I mean that we all are positioned in different spheres of life. Maybe someone would be quite lucky enough that he can dedicate 8 to 10 hours of a day. For few of us, it would be really difficult because we have to do our jobs, we might have certain other responsibilities. So, thinking about that one thing, we should be really sure about that how much time I can dedicate. The second question is that how long can I keep on giving this exam? The next question is that what are my weaknesses? For example, some of you might not have had enough time to do clinical practice. They must have migrated to the country quite early. For some of them, talking is something a very difficult task, while that equivalent, the same points, might be strength for someone. So once we have a clear, thorough knowledge as to where we stand, the journey is quite easy. I would say not predictable, but it's easy. Because many a times when we read lots of inspiring stories where say like yeah, some of them have passed the exam in by just preparing for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and they are through the exam. All right. But there are few of them, those who would have worked for 24 months and still they're struggling with the exam. So, what to consider is the truth. The truth is that when we see someone's or read through someone's success story, probably we do not know the entire truth. By that I mean, it's not that someone is lying, but we do not know which sphere of life they stand in. Maybe they are really experienced, that they have had enough of OSCE, something that has become their second nature. So they might have been through the exam in 3 months of time. But there is someone who's just beginning their clinical practice, and so all of it is their natural weakness. So they might be taking lots of time. The another dimension to this is as well that how porous we are. By that I mean the porosity is what I want to intend to address over here is that how easily can we imbibe certain things, how ready are we to face this exam? Certain at certain point of time, maybe it becomes so difficult for one of us, all of us in fact, that we are not ready to accept our mistakes. I would not say it's a fault, but it's a phase that we need to overcome. I'm just taking, I would just like to say that I'm no different. I'm just a very common average student, probably one of y'all. I have had 8 to 9 years of clinical practice before I gave my practical exam. But it took me an attempt to understand where I stand. It was after the first attempt I could understand that what is missing. Probably in my practice, it's essentially surgical work where I'm quite far away from general dentistry, and I really had lots of difficulties to understand that what this exam demands. So Let me just throw an insight to my story. So I went from India to Melbourne to have a comprehensive course with Dental 101. So all of us, yes, the question would be that yes, there are many options available, and why had I to choose Dental 101? So, so probably my strength or weakness, I am always sure of what I don't want, but I'm never sure of what I want. So amongst the options available, I was quite clear that the platform that can cater to my needs at that point of time is only Dental 101. I had a brief meeting with Kanika on phone where I just explained to her, Kanika, this is the situation, and probably what I'm looking for is a kind of one-to-one mentorship. Because the problem with me was that because I had lots of surgical experience and no experience with any kind of restorative work or crown preps, I was not sure whether I can deal with a mass tutoring. And I was clear that I'm someone who needs a one-to-one guidance where they can probably spare some time and understand where do I stand and cater to my needs. So on having a brief discussion with Kanika, she was quite helpful and she said, oh, no worries, you just be here and we'll look after you. So that was, what do you say, that was a good initial push that yes, I can do it. So I took my comprehensive course with them in month of November 2018, and I was there for a couple of weeks, and then I came back. The first date I got for my exams was August 2019. So after my course, somehow I was so confident that yes, I can do all of it because when I was over there, they made us really grill through all the technicals. OSCEs was part of our everyday schedule. Like we would have technicals in the morning, OSCE discussions in the late evenings, and so by the time I was done with course, somehow I thought that oh yes, OSCE is something I can do. Technical is something, yes, I just need a little more practice and I would be done. So, but what was the most touching point was that the first day of class when we had a brief meeting with Dr. Dipesh. So he just said that, okay, so Dr. Griva, nice to see you. But the gist, let me just tell you the gist, where he just said that it's not coaching that makes someone pass, it's your personal hard work that will make someone pass. And probably that was the first sentence he said. Yes, it was a bit hurtful at that point of time because someone who has traveled all the way in hopes that yes, this is the place which will make me pass. But somewhere there was an eternal truth which lie into his statement, and it took time for me to digest to it, probably weeks to understand. And then we kept on and we had fantastic mentors who would just be right next to us to see that even a slightest of the burr moment was something that they had corrected. For a person like me, uh, for me indirect vision was never in my dictionary because of essentially surgical practice, and it was just because of them. I'll It might sound too much, but then it was just because of them I could understand what indirect vision means. So yeah, the gist was that I was quite confident at the end of the course, and I came back. And for 6 months, I said practice was something that I can't leave. Like it's necessary. So time one can dedicate. I had decided that I can dedicate just 3 to 4 hours of a day, nothing much more than that, because I could not leave my clinical practice. So time went on, and we had got dates in May that my I could appear for exam somewhere in August. So my exam was 19th and 20th of August. So Kanika, can we go to the next slide, please? Mm, okay. So Ayush, sorry. So then, since the exam was in August, I thought, let me take some time because I was really very confident with my technicals and OSCEs. So I thought maybe I can start my preparation somewhere in May. And that's how I started for my first exam. So to begin with, how to prepare with this exam? All of the process, it amalgamates to one single point, that is clarity. So what does this clarity means? We all are acquainted with that. We do have something called as a practical handbook, which is Bible for us, which each and every word means a lot. The more clear you are, the more are your chances of success. During preparation, I always had one question in my mind. When I would, of course, read the success stories, I would think that is is a person who is hardworking, he wins the race, or a person who is smarter, he wins the race, or is the luckiest of the lot who wins the race. Slowly and slowly, the more I practiced, I realized that it's your hard work which makes you smarter, and the more smart you become, the more lucky you get. We often feel that certain person has passed because he's smart, he's lucky. Maybe we are seeing him at that phase of his life where he is already done with his hard work. So in my opinion, there is there is nothing that you can compensate for hard work. So so let's come to what does hard work mean, because the definition of hard work is quite different for one and all. Because even I was a person who would crib, oh, I have worked so long and still why I could not make it. Or I would say, oh, that person, I've seen him just working for 2 weeks and he has cleared the exam. So let's come moving ahead, that what does hard work essentially mean? Kanika, can we go to the next slide, please? So the gist of my August and February. So as I mentioned, I gave my first attempt in August 2019. So for that attempt, I had started my self preparation in May. Mind the word self preparation. I used to do 4 tasks daily. Now these 4 tasks were essentially my choice. It, but I was always sure that I would do one crown prep every day, a restorative task, which could be an amalgam or it could be a composite, and a provisional. Endo and caries was something I started towards the end, somewhere around July. But the biggest mistake was that I neglected OSCE. It was something because during training, we had touched each and every case, and because I had clinical experience and I was somehow into practice, I thought OSCE is something that I can deal with. Come whatever OSCE, I will deal with it. But the end result was fail. Now, just have put up that what had changed somewhere in February. So the August results came around September end. It took some time for me to digest, oh, I could not make it, because in my mind, I thought I was really good at technical. I had practiced every single day. There was not even a single day that I had missed my practice, but I could not minutely see what I had neglected. It took me some time to come out of that black phase, and I started my preparation in November. The entire month of November, I focused on restorative work. But from December, I did all tasks daily, to the point that endo and caries were done on every alternate day. Now, what I want to highlight over here was that it is not the number of days you practice, It all boils down to how clear and efficient you have become with every single task you do every single time. Now, the time taken by me, I have just put it together on same slide for you all to have a comparative study, was roughly the same, 2 to 3 months. But the difference over here was, initially I just did 4 tasks daily. But in exam one, we have to understand that we would be facing 6 tasks a day. Now, in addition to this, one should know what one weakness is. For me, the weakness was restorative work. Because in my first attempt, it so happened that everything was good and nice, but towards the end, I felt the time was less. My amalgam broke right close at the marginal ridge, and I realized, oh, I'm done with the exam. It's no way I can pass, even in my technicals. Now, amalgam was something that I was practicing daily, but then still, why did I fail in amalgam? So, I took some time to understand. Now, what we do generally is we like to do what we are confident a lot, but it is essential to face our fears first. So, when I had to start practicing for the second time, what I did was that entire month of November, I focused on restorative work. By that, I don't mean that I neglected rest of it, but by the focus, I mean that I used to do 3 amalgams every day, come what may. It would be same tooth 3 times or 3 different quadrants. By that I mean that I would change the adjacent tooth, try to make a broad contact, or put an endotooth next to a premolar, or use a nick tooth to see what kind of contact I can make, change the frequency at what amalgam is manipulated. Now, to understand this process minutely, of course, I had to take help of tutors from Dental 101, because in August attempt, I realized that I had touched each and every task, but still, why did I fail? To which I understood that I had never escalated my challenges. Now, friends, during a practice period, it is very, very essential that we escalate our challenges. We can't be doing the same thing, same way every day. It's not going to give us a result in a different manner. In order to have different results, our way should also change. So, what I did was that when I started my preparation in November, I just focused on restorative work because preparation was something that I was always confident about. In restorative work, I wanted to focus on amalgam and composite. Now, let me tell you, even in this, I was somehow not able to face that complex composite was something that I didn't like much. I don't like composites as such. So I would somehow be inclined towards doing a class 4 and try to, self persuade that, oh, yeah, I have done a composite for the day. But that was a lie. I was talking to myself. So the moral of the story is that what you need is a clear self-talk. That am I being honest to my goal is what one needs to understand. The moment you ask this question to yourself, you would know 10 different points where we are lacking. Friends, it's to me, if you ask me, what makes someone pass or fail? Is it an coaching class? Is it some kind of special mentoring? I would say yes. They play an essential role for us to get on the right track. But after getting onto the right track, whether you want to walk, you want to crawl, you want to run, or you want to fly, it's your choice. But it's very, very necessary that we remain honest to ourselves. So when I started my prep in November, I had realized that yes, my fail was just because of restorative work. That was the time when I started 30 days dedicated 3 amalgams every day. Either it would be same tooth 3 times to understand and develop some kind of muscle memory, patient positioning of carver or mirror or whatsoever, um, or three teeth in different quadrants, where I would change the cavity, change the adjacent tooth, and I would evaluate that what has worked, to the extent that I made endo and caries as part of my every alternate day practice. Now, is it essential that we give up our jobs? Is it essential that this requires a lots of time? Let me just put it down. In both the attempts, I had never given up my clinical practice. I was working every single day. So, in the previous attempt, I would randomly do 4 tasks, but for my next attempt, I would discipline myself. I would make a combination of a couple of tasks which are easy and difficult, and make a self mock for myself. Now, in August, when I had prepared, time was always an issue for me. But in February, I made it a point that I would practice or do all the tasks in 3.5 hours of time. So I would begin my practice, say, around at 5 o'clock in the morning, finish at around 8:30 kinds, and then get back to my clinical practice. But what made a difference was that I was sure, or I was very conscious of what am I doing. Now, OSCE was something that was part of my practice each and every day. So your Dental 101 played a very big role. Now, since I was in India and I could really not find a study partner. So again, thanks to Kanika, she could arrange something for me that was an online OSCEs. So we had a very good friend of mine, Dr. Leena, Dr. Edith, and till I could go back to Melbourne, they made sure that I have an OSCE practice 2 to 3 days a week, and rest of the days I would practice myself. Now, uh, why do a couple of people are so confident about OSCEs and why some are not? To this, let me just put a light to it. Now, be it technicals or be it OSCEs, it's essential that whatever you do becomes your second nature. By that I mean that you have to practice till the time that even if someone wakes you up from sleep, it should be as precise as possible. So, in my previous attempt, I never made notes because somehow I was confident that, oh yeah, this is what we face every day. It's nothing difficult. We do understand what is root canal, how it can be done, how you can explain to the patient. But still, I struggled to pass OSCEs. So what I did for my next attempt was that I made precise notes for myself. So in month of October, after having my results in September, where I could not, I was in inertia where I could not get up and start with my technicals, I started focusing on my OSCE. So what I did was that I took each and every question, made my own notes. Now, these notes, I would keep on working on these notes again and again repeatedly to distillize them to a certain point. Now, what does this mean is that when you take up a question, for example, something called as an ulcer. So, what would I do is that I would think upon it as a doctor, what would I like to know? Or as a patient, what are the doubts that I would like to ask to my doctor? So I would simultaneously prepare ulcer for diagnosis and management as well as for information gathering. Now, if my first answer would take, say, for explanation 15 minutes, I would distillize, minimize words to the point it would take 12 minutes. To the point, distillize is furthermore, condense it, bring it to 8 minutes. Still more condensed, get it to 6 minutes. And when I was ready with these answers, I made my one single file. Now, this was the file, something I called as at last minute preparation or last minute revision, which I kept it ready. This is something that I am going to read before my exams. Now, we need to understand over here that this cannot happen spontaneously. Why I would want to say that yes, it can happen spontaneously, but will it fetch you a clear path? Now, OSCE being an objective, structured way of dealing with a scenario, we need to understand that what they're looking from us is that are we structured in our thought process? So, if you need to be structured, you need to work upon it. Make it as digital as possible, and this will take some time. In my opinion, uh, we we do make study partners. I don't have much experience in about that because I never had a study partner for me. But what I realized which worked for me, that whenever I practiced with mentors from Dental 101. Now they were the ones who had cleared the exam, so it made my journey really small. Whenever I would go wrong, they would correct me. Let's assume a second condition where I am working or discussing with someone who has yet not passed. It is possible that my mistakes can go uncorrected, and we would not want to take a risk with it. So I had made a choice that I would discuss my OSCEs with those who had passed the exam, and that's what I did. So 2 to 3 days a week, I would discuss with mentors from Dental 101, and rest days I would work upon myself to the point that I would be done with my discussion in 6 to 7 minutes. So the outcome was pass. Uh, any questions that you can leave the question in comment box. Are we together?
Yes, doctor, we are together.
Yeah. All right. So,
All good, Dr.
uh,
Riva.
yeah, Kanika, would you like to add something because you were with me in this entire journey? Would you like to add something over here?
Yes, no, one thing I would definitely like to go. Thank you so much for sharing this experience, and I can actually see how people can relate to it as well. And I'm really sure because some of us have had similar experience like you have, and yes, there is a lot of information, a lot of things around. So there is a lot of misleading information as well, and at the same time, you need to choose your own battle. You need to see what is right for me, and just follow and believe in what you have been guided through. So I would like to say that all have seen, the whole team has seen you working so hard, and that is the key. That is really important, that your hard work is really important. So even if you feel low, I remember the day when you came just 3 days 4 days before your exam in this attempt, and just said to me saying that Kanika, I don't know if I should be doing this, or I don't know, or I'm feeling very low. I'm not feeling that I really want to do this. And that is very normal. That is really normal. So please, if we can completely understand, and especially during this time, um, I'm sure a lot of you will be feeling the same. But please do not give up. And that's what I told Dr. Griva as well, that you have I have we all have seen you working so hard. You have been so persistent. Right now, please do not give up. You just have 3 more days to go to your exam. Just fight till your last breath. Keep on doing, and definitely the success is not far. So please keep on practicing. I mean, it's not only about, as we always have been saying to all of our students, candidates. We have discussion groups as well. We always say, even if you feel low, you want to have a chat, just feel free to call us. It's not only about ADC, it is just about life as well. So it is very important from your side to be motivated all the time. And it is normal. Please don't feel like that, okay, I wasn't able to do it in my first attempt or second attempt, or even that matter third attempt. Just don't feel that no, I'm worthless, I'm useless, I can't do. I know, and we all are migrants. We, some of us are here in Australia, some of us are preparing from overseas, and we all are in the same boat. We all have gone through the same phase. There are ups and downs. We all feel low at times, but that is absolutely fine. But with the motivation, with the dedication, with the persistence, definitely we'll be able to make one day. Having right people around you, following a path is very important. Just listening to everyone, all the information in the world. That's what we were talking in the afternoon as well. That there is a lot of information. If you try to take all the information at the same time, you tend to get even more anxious, which shouldn't be the case. You know your stuff. Even if you've done one attempt, you actually know what's right for you, what's wrong, what you didn't do right, and what you could have done better. You all are really well aware of it. So please make a right decision. Choose who to be with. Choose who is guiding you right. Choose who is misleading, and then make a decision. You all have capacity and capability to pass. Just keep practicing. Just keep practicing. Yeah, that's what I would like to say.
Thank you, Kanika.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries.
Okay, so what was that made a pass in this attempt was, let me put it that something that I had worked beforehand, the kind of hard work, it made things quite very clear to me. Now, I'm not a big fan of positive thoughts and negative thoughts per se, because that it's clarity that one needs. Because even in my last attempt, uh, like people would say, "Oh yeah, you will do it. You will do it." So there is no one on the earth who would say that, "Oh, you can't do it," on your face at least. So still the things don't work, right? So I would just like to put it that, don't get into the mess of positive thoughts and negative thoughts. Be clear about the situation. By that I mean that something that's not working for you, it needs to be clearly addressed. Now, depending upon how much is the depth of thing that you need support for, depends upon the kind of help you would search for. So it brings me to the next question, that is self preparation enough, or do we need some kind of coaching or mentoring? Now, for me, the answer that a coaching or mentoring, what I would look for is that, am I getting enough advice? Am I getting the right kind of guidance? Am I getting enough assistance, some kind of help and support for me to survive to this journey? And for me, that answer was Dental 101 always. I have not been to any other place other than Dental 101 for my journey. Now, for me, I always used to ask that, okay, I am not so good at, say, doing composites. So I would need a step by step someone who can help me, mentor me where I'm going wrong. So for me, a comprehensive coaching is something I feel made a difference to me. There are people who just take demos and they're okay with it. Nothing wrong in that. If you feel that you are in that stage of life that where only demos can work for you, fair enough. But for me, it was really difficult because, as I mentioned previously, indirect vision that was never there in my dictionary. Carvers were like something that I had used only during my college days. So for me, it was something that I'm looking for one-to-one coaching, and for me, that answer was Dental 101. I understand in today's digital world, maybe things are might seem easy. That we have seen certain videos and we try to replicate or follow them, but still, I belong to old school thought where I feel that you need a mentor to hold your hand and who can help you walk through this path. And to me, it was clear always Dental 101, be it for technical OSCEs or say clinical OSCEs or the technical work. So during my second attempt, what I did was I made a schedule where I focused on what was missing from my first attempt. Time was something that was always, I was sure that I can give around 6 to 7 hours a day, not more than that. So I divided it into 3.5, 4 hours of technical work and 2 hours of OSCEs every day. So what I would do was that before my clinical practice began, so early in the morning, I would start somewhere close 5 o'clock and finish at 8:30 kinds, depending upon whether I'm including complex composite, which I was really slow at, and then do my regular general practice. In afternoon, say around 1:30 to 3:30, I would just work upon my OSCEs. Again, in the evening, I had to do my practice, clinical practice. At the end of the day, I would sit and evaluate what wrong did I do. So say in the morning, if I have done 2-6, 3-6 composite, and if I have done an amalgam 1-4, I would sit and evaluate what went wrong to the point where I could not judge or guess that where I'm going wrong. I would send photos to our mentors and take their help that where I'm going wrong because it was simple. Hello, hello. Am I audible? Can I have
Yes,
a
I
yes
can.
from someone, please?
Yes, I can hear you, Dr.
Oh yeah, because
Riva.
someone was. Thank you so much, Kanka. So to the point that so I would first begin with evaluating myself because it's necessary on the day of exam. You would not have your mentor with you. You would have to assess yourself. So a point had definitely arrived in life where I could not find my mistakes. So I would send photos, seek for their help, and advice that how to tackle from this point. And they were very kind enough to help me at every single time. So I practiced like this for November, December, and January was the time I went back to Dental 101 for 3 weeks to have finishing touches for my exams. And Kanika was kind enough to accommodate me, and I gave 2 mocks, and that gave me a clear picture where I stand. To me, I still feel that there is always a point in our life that we cannot criticize ourselves beyond that point, and that's where you need a third eye to give an honest judgment about us. So let's go ahead with this. Kanika, can we have a slide change? So, sometimes when we see really excellent hard work, uh, and we often have questions that do we need to be excellent and artistic beyond certain point to succeed in this exams? I often had these questions. So, uh, to which I came to a certain conclusion that something that we should always aim for is excellence. Practice till that becomes your second nature, because eventually there would be circumstances in exam that the work may be still mediocre. By that I mean that when we do practice by ourselves in our home or in coaching, we are still not exposed to that kind of exam situation. And even at that point of time, we aim for something a mediocre work and we think that, oh, this is good enough to pass because criteria mentions like this. If I have a little understanding of criteria, I would still feel that what they are demanding is still an excellence. Because good or if you read those criteria, really there's no clear explanation to it. So all I could understand from the handbook was that what they're looking for is excellent work. Now, if you aim for excellence, I feel that in exam we would be little less than excellent. It's not possible to kind of execute that kind of work in exam because of many other factors. So and you would also not want to walk upon this journey with some kind of crutches which says, oh, it was destiny that I succeed. uh, says, what you choose, you want to be this exam, what kind of individual you are for this exam. There are people who do not say that only people with excellent handwork pass or people with bad handwork pass. It's all upon that, are you a human being or a doctor, what they are looking for. So for my practice, the aim that I had was to be excellent in my technical as well as OSCEs. So at least you have done justice to your time and your hard work. That's the opinion that I have. Let's move ahead. So often I would think that what's a clear recipe to succeed? And I still remember I would just after a day's work, I would keep on harassing Kanika and ask, Kanika, like you have been coaching so many students, and what do you think? Who is successful? Is someone who is with pretty face, who is confident enough, and someone who is XYZ? What's the recipe to succeed? And to which, let me tell you, there is a core within each one of us who knows the answer to this. Maybe we ourselves, get we do not focus on making our core, and we just focus on our periphery. That's when we forget that what it needs to be successful. So the key ingredients that I thought that makes a difference is having ample amount of persistence, ample amount of discipline, and right attitude. By that I mean that one needs to be docile, at the same time one needs to be some kind of having a clarity about conditions. By that I mean it's not good to be like a concrete block always, where none of the comments affect us, nor should we be like a real soft sponge that anything can come and shake us. By that I mean that right before my exam, like mine was session 3 in February, session 1 and 2 we had new OSCE sets. So obviously it was like, oh shit, now there are new OSCEs, now it's so easy to fail because I haven't prepared. So that's the time when you should just try and relax and think that what can shake you, just this common little things. You should build a strong periphery for yourself, that your core is always strong. By that I mean that this entire process only wants you to be strong from your core, clear from core, and honest from core. By that I mean, now, discipline or right attitude. Let me just give a quick example. Now, I was honest to me, but I know so many days I had cheated myself. By that I mean, I had decided that I am going to do 3 composites today. I would do, but I would end up doing a class 4, one class 4 and 2 complex. Now that's something that I always back of my mind, that complex composite is something that I have to work the most, but I always kept on procrastinating it. Now, this is something that's going to affect the final outcome. Now, it can be anything for any one of us. It can be an OSCE, it can be something like even temporary preparation. Now, in this exam process, each and every task has an equal weightage. Now, if you try to think, now this is something that I can conquer easily, maybe that can be your biggest mistake. So I would like to say that each and every task is as important as everything. Ideally, you should be practicing each and everything every day. Um, you can keep a day or two in a week where you want to take a break. Now that break should not be like, yeah, you can take a break from handpiece, but do not take break from receiving what is needed. By that it means that you can read up something, maybe that is what you had not done throughout the week, or you can listen to something, because these little things are something that can help you solve the puzzle. So there is no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute for patience. It is your determination, your core to take the risk, your attitude to face failures will eventually make you successful. Kanika, would you like to add something to this?
No, no, all good, Dr. Griva. All
Yeah,
good.
so yeah,
Your
can we?
talks are really motivating. Yeah,
Thank you
I'll
so
take
much.
the next one.
Can we go ahead, please? So in this journey, it's not as easy as we say. Yes, there are common obstacles that we all of us have. Something called as excuses, self-doubt, fear of failure, being non-receptive. We can easily get defocused or we try to procrastinate. In my journey, these are the 6 things which I had to struggle each and every day. And that's why I thought, let me share with you. Now, if you remember, I had stated in the beginning that how much time what you want to dedicate will determine how long your journey will be. The more the number of excuses you have, it's quite easy the long the journey will be. The more self doubt you have, the more difficult the journey will be. Now, by that I mean that if you think that, okay, it's because of my backache I could not do, I do not have so much of time. Yeah, it's possible that we can have excuse, but it is very, very essential that we focus that how we can deal with these excuses. Now, it's possible that each one of us can deal with it by oneself, but few of us might need an external help as well. Now, we should not shy away and face that truth. Luckily, for me, I always had Dental 101 to go back to for any kind of obstacles that I had in my journey. Now, there are days when you want to procrastinate, you want to just uh, throw things for next day. Now, this is something which is quite harmful to oneself. So, think about it. The next is being defocused. Now, being defocused is something that you can relatively call as demotivation. Now, as I mentioned initially, losing motivation is quite common, and as Kanika right said, like all of us sail through this point at some or the other way. It's essential that you go back or get detached from it as soon as possible. The more you stay in that phase, more harmful it is. So when I could not clear my exams in August, I had lost all motivation. Oh, I have to do all of this again. What wrong I did? Now, how easily can you get detached from it, and how easily can you focus on the goal will make you very quick in achieving your goal. The next very difficult part is being non-receptive. Now, this is a silent killer. By that, I want to say that at times I was like, if someone would say that, oh, Griva, this is wrong. So it was not easily digestible to me because of my background or whatsoever. Uh, but then I realized that it's only when you become more receptive to the choices you have around you is that can make your success an assured result. So if you can overcome these things, now the way to overcome these obstacles are to acknowledge that yes, you are facing this problem. If if we say no, stay positive, to me that does not help, because I feel being clear about situations and taking right help at the right time can help you easily sail across rather than putting a blanket over it by saying that stay positive. What is exactly when so I would always question Kanika that what does confidence mean, Kanika? What does being what do you say in state of positive mean? Because if I have not experienced, I cannot understand that. So today I can share with you confidence just mean a state of clarity. Now, if you tend to say that, oh, I am confident, and deep within your core is not strong enough, believe me, on exam day, it would be difficult to deal with each and every scenario. Do not pretend at any point of time. If you feel that it's even you do not understand what kind of burr it is, do not pretend as if you know. We do have help around us, and take that help. Maybe that help might be the reason which can change a fail to pass. It's always good that you are absolutely in state of clarity, because confidence without clarity is a sure disaster. But if you are clear enough, maybe you can tackle with most of the situation. So now if you feel that, and you acknowledge that excuses has become a big part of your life in this journey, take help if you cannot help yourself. Because if you acknowledge that something is going wrong within you, you will surely have some help. But if you do not acknowledge that something is wrong with you, it's difficult you would ever have help, and you might overcome this in a stipulated time, because it's time that matters. However good we may be, but if we are repeating the mistakes in the same fashion every same period of time, it's quite doubtful that we may reach our destination easily. So, saying this, I would like to conclude and say that absolutely help is necessary. It's not possible for us to know everything in the right way. It should be known. When we say a 6-degree taper or 12-degree taper, maybe we do not know exactly what it means. So take help from a right person who would tell you, yes, this is 6 degree. He might help you develop an eye that, yes, this is 6 degree. You might be stuck at some point where we often know what an overhang means, but how to remove that overhang, or in first place not let an overhang come. Now it's possible that you may find an answer to it, but it may cost your time, and this is what we are not looking for. So take and choose a right help. We are always here for you as a part of Team Dental 101. Start wherever you are, use whatever you have, do what you can, and try to be better with every single task, every single time. That's what I can say as a takeaway message to you all. What do you think, Kanika?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kriva. That was really helpful. I do have Dr. Dipesh as well with me. So yeah, to sum up as well, the other day when Dr. Kriva and I were talking, so there are a few things. So we do have a lot of options right now. We are doing online courses, tech assessments, everything. And those of you who are already enrolled with us and waiting to start the course with us, everything once gets back to normal, we'll be keeping all those social distancing measures and proceeding with the course very soon. Hopefully, let's see, when would that be? Most likely in somewhere in May. Also, we have planned to create a very closed group, WhatsApp group, where Dr. Griva will be leading, and we will be helping one-on-one with the technical work, where everyone can post their work, and we will be helping we'll be assigning a task. We'll have other instructors on in that group as well to assess the work. So a task will be given, and you will be given some targets, so that we can push everyone through during especially this slow time downtime, so that you keep on motivating yourself, and just don't feel lost. And it's good, you are lucky, take this as an opportunity. You have more time, and you can do your preparation, prepare to a point where your preparations are flawless, your practice is flawless. So we will be doing that. So if you are interested to be in part of that group, yeah, you can send your name to me. We will work on that. And over to Dr. Dipesh.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. And thanks a lot, Dr. Griva, for your inspirational talk. I do remember when we first met and our conversation, and now we are here. So this is something which I'm extremely pleased about. Your journey has been very, very special for us, and I'm pretty sure it has been special for you as well.
Yeah, of
I
course.
would just, I, I won't take too long. I will just like to say one thing. Everyone who is here right now, you all have doctor in front of your name, no matter where you are. No one can take that away from you. Please keep that in mind when you are preparing, when you are embarking on a new journey. You just have to make sure that you project yourself, you prepare yourself as a practicing practitioner over here. And that will only come with practice, that will only come with having good mentors, that will only come with having to read and practice yourself. No amount of coaching, no amount of mentoring, no amount of just reading will make that happen. It all goes together. Like you have to do everything together. And practice yourselves on your patients, the way you need to talk for your OSCEs, the way you need to do things of infection control. Just make that a daily habit. And especially after this corona situation, all of us will be forced, and force is a wrong word, but we will all have to make sure that our infection control is impeccable. Patients are very demanding. Patients will be demanding. So it is something that we need to look at. So I won't take much time, as I said. Thank you so much for taking time and joining us for this wonderful inspirational journey. All of our information is on our website, and everyone knows Kanika by now. So Kanika is here to help. Tomorrow also we will be speaking with another successful candidate, and hopefully that will bring about some more motivation for you. So thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. Griva. Thank you to my wonderful team of all my instructors. They are absolutely wonderful. They are awesome at what they do, and we wouldn't be here without them.
That's true. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, and stay tuned for we'll be posting the link for Dr. Ahmed Hosni's session as well, experience sharing tomorrow on the website, on the Facebook page, and on our group as well. So stay tuned. I'm sure you have got something to take back home from this session, and you will definitely have a lot to take from tomorrow's session as well. So we wish you all the good luck. Stay safe. And good luck to your family. Take care of yourself. Do follow social distancing and keep practicing. Keep yourself motivated. If you have anything, any doubts, or just for a chat, I mean, it doesn't have to be dentistry. Feel free to call us as well. I wish you good luck, and thank you so much, Dr. Liva, again for taking out time for this wonderful session. Thank you to everyone who took out time for coming in, tuning in. Yeah, and thank you so much for our lovely team as well. Thank you. Good luck. Goodbye. And we will hopefully see you all soon once everything is normal. Thank you.